Philosophy and me, a confession piece. It's been 10 years. 10 years ago, I was a stand-up philosopher. I was the only one. It was very hard to move it out from audiences that knew me. So in my home city, in Exeter, I was very popular. I could pack out an audience. But I couldn't make it work in Bristol because nobody quite understood the concept. They didn't trust it. And before that, I studied and read philosophy throughout my 20s, and I wasted all my 30s doing it. And by studied, I meant I was reading for 8-9 hours a day. It's where my knowledge comes from. Back in them there days, I wrote book upon book upon book. I got a bit addicted to writing. Somewhere I have about 1.5 million words written. But my relationship with academia, and this is the confession piece, was always a bit more problematic. You see, I work almost exclusively from memory. I always have done. I'm that peculiar combination of dyspraxia and dyslexia that finds taking notes next to impossible. Does that matter? Of course it does. A PhD is an enterprise in taking notes. It's kind of a written exam. I kind of felt, having tried one and being thrown off, that it was deliberately designed to filter out people like me, oral philosophers. It was creating a unity within the academic profession. And after a certain amount of spitting blood and poison, I understood that. Perfectly happy with it. I'm happy to be outside. I can do something that academics can't do. I can quickly summarize arguments. I can adapt them. I can turn them into performance pieces. I can do something then that's actually useful to academia. So why have I been silent for 10 years? The reason is very straightforward. I didn't want to become yet another quasi-academic on YouTube. YouTube is replete with academics who didn't quite cut the mustard and are then rage and are bitter against the system and can give you very good reasons to distrust physics or distrust philosophy. Reasons that will, if you are not very used to the subject, find sensible and grounded. And therefore they can set themselves up as some sort of hero. The thinker who dared to have the thought that ne'er been thought before, the thought that would undo all thinking, and that jealousy therefore excluded. And I waited until I knew that wouldn't happen. Until I knew I could support the existing academia as it should be supported. For my God, you need it. You need professional thinkers, and you need artists like me able to perform thought. We're both part of the picture. We both matter. Now, people like me are very hard to get rid of. I'm like a virus, I just stay in the body. But academics, marooned as they are in their institutions, and not always as good as teaching as they perhaps should be. Again, I used to be bitter about that. I now just think they're good at research. The sort of research they do are desperately vulnerable. They need supporting. You see, any organisation of the far right, the first thing they want to do is discredit anybody capable of critiquing them and making them look stupid. That's academics then, isn't it? So I kind of feel the time is right to make the arguments march. To use the skills that I actually can do, skills of summarising, skills of language, the performed word, to allow people, to encourage people to think, but also perhaps to encourage a few of you to fall in love with knowledge and learning and actually start reading. Because in a world we're moving into, a world where the notions of subjecthood, I'll do Foucault and Schopenhauer this week, are going to shift and going to change and are going to be challenged from directions that you're not expecting. You're going to need to do it. Okay? And I hope to encourage you. And I also hope to encourage you to support straightforward philosophical academia. I can sometimes be very harsh on it, but it was very harsh on me. But that doesn't mean that I don't support it. I don't think it's worthwhile. And it absolutely doesn't mean that I don't think that you should support it as well. Because if it goes, you will really miss it. All right, confession piece over. I'll go back to the philosophy.